Here at ARL, we understand the importance of timely and accurate test results, which allow you to make the crucial decisions that help increase the performance of your farm, your herds, and your bottom line. As a 100% owned subsidiary of Ravensdown, we're totally committed to the Ravensdown Cooperative, to you, our stakeholders, and to the provision of a world-class service. ARL currently undertakes the testing of more than 60,000 New Zealand soil samples per year. Additionally, we now also analyse samples from Western Australia and Queensland, after having expanded into these territories in 2010. The process of testing soil samples is relatively straightforward. All soil samples are taken out in the field and couriered to ARL in our prepaid courier bags. The following morning, your sample arrives at ARL. Those samples originating from Australia typically take only 3 to 4 working days to arrive due to our excellent relationship with New Zealand's Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries. Once here, all samples are taken to the soil preparation room where they're matched with their respective paperwork. Deadlines are assessed and the samples are then ordered for testing to meet the requested deadlines. Each sample is then individually sieved to ensure a representative sample and then put in the oven to be dried overnight. The proper administration of samples is vital in ensuring relevant information is fed back to you in a timely fashion. To achieve this, the soil submission forms you filled out and sent along with your samples are taken to the administration area. Here, each sample is logged into our computer program called Sample Manager and given a unique lab ID number. When your samples have been removed from the oven, they're put through a fine sieve. Scoops of soil are taken for each different analysis. When required, the weights of the soil sample are recorded. Your samples are then batched into a job along with the check samples ready to be processed. A check sample is a sample of known value which also goes through the testing process. Should a check sample not match the known outcome for that test, an issue may have arisen which could have affected the accurate outcome of your sample's results. Quality is a critical component for ARL, and if check samples do not conform to expectations, then the whole job will be repeated. The samples are then sent to the lab for extraction. At extraction, reagents are added to the samples. Following this, they're placed on the shaker for a set time interval specific for the test. After the shaking interval, the samples are filtered into tubes ready for analysis on the respective analytical instruments. The sulfate results of a soil sample are read by IC, or ion chromatography. Like most instruments in the lab, an auto-sampler is used to analyse each sample and the results collected by computer. Once the results are complete for the batch, an analyst checks them and submits them through to Sample Manager, where they're stored against the unique lab ID number issued at login. ICP, or inductively coupled plasma, is most commonly used to test levels of total extractable sulfur and aluminium. Sulfur results from the ICP, as well as sulfur results from the IC, are used to calculate the organic sulfur levels in your soil. A separate ICP unit is used to detect reserve potassium, and hot water soluble boron. Once the results are completed for each batch, an analyst checks them and submits them through to Sample Manager, where they're stored against the unique lab ID number issued at login. Upon completion of all tests and the checking and entering of the results by an analyst into Sample Manager, the batch is reviewed and authorized by the analyst. The paperwork is then provided back to the administration area, whose personnel process and sends the final soil reports back to you. Once your sample is received, the overall soil sampling process typically takes 4 days, 6 days if an Australian sample. ARL is an IANZ, International Accreditation New Zealand, accredited laboratory and audited to the international standard ISO 17025. We are also a member of both the New Zealand Association of Consulting Laboratories and ASPAC, the Australasian Soil and Plant Analytical Council. We have some of the most sophisticated equipment of its kind in Australasia. Our FIA technology is used to analyze Olsen P, nitrates, anaerobically mineralizable nitrogen, and deep mineralizable nitrogen. The Carry 50 is like a manual version of the FIA, allowing us to measure resin P and organic carbon. In the case of our combustion analysis technology, dry soil is measured into weighing boats, the samples being incinerated at temperatures of up to 1150 degrees Celsius to measure carbon and nitrogen levels. Our atomic absorption spectrometer, or AA technology, measures 4 different cations: calcium, magnesium, potassium, and sodium. And all our pH tests are undertaken by our pH robot. Here, pH probes are immersed into each sample, with the results being sent directly to Sample Manager. At ARL, we're proud of our reputation as a leader in the provision of testing analysis to the agribusiness industry. For more information on the specific soil testing options or the provision of our soil testing kits, including our soil augers and prepaid courier bags, please contact Analytical Research Laboratories on the following details.